Recording in progress. Yay. Okay. I need to know if you all can see my computer. Okay. Slideshow from the start. If you can see the slides. I'm sorry if you can see the slides. Hold on. All right. I need to know if you all can see my slides. All right. All right. Anne, Nagar, Nancy, can you all see my slides? Thumbs up, thumbs down. All right. Pat, can you see my slides? Okay. I'm going to stop and then share screen again. Okay. Can you see it now? Okay. Got it. Awesome. Okay. Remember, okay, hold on. I got some people waiting to participate here. All right. Perfect. All right, let me make sure that's on. All right, welcome to Hope Community, Healthy Living Inspirations, where we're learning how to live healthy, even though we know we're living in a toxic world. God put us here for such a time as this. We start out with scripture verses because we want to magnify the God that created us. And tonight's class is about magnifying the importance of magnesium, especially when it comes to stress. So Isaiah 54:2 talks about enlarging the place of your tent and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings. Do not spare, lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. I think it's time for us to expand. I think it's time for us to enlarge our tents. I think it's time for us to think big, not small, not allowing things on the news and things that are negative that's happening in the world and to affect our future and what God's destined for us in our future. Because our future is going to be determined by our attitudes and by our faith and by our ability to process what is happening to us. I listened to a magnificent message this morning by Vlad. He's Russian, and I do love his messages. He speaks to me loudly and clearly. And he talked about how you know, when King David got discouraged, he had to strengthen his own soul. He had to rise up himself, and it had to come out of his mouth. It's not, he didn't say, let your thoughts, you know, strengthen your soul. He said, let your words strengthen your soul. And so how important that it is for us not to stay down in the molly grubbies and to stew, in other words, in our disappointments, or stew in the negative things that are happening in your personal life or on the world scene. That we have to encourage ourselves, just like King David did, and it has to come out of our mouths. And we don't deny reality, but we actually set the presence of faith. So if somebody's been, let's say, diagnosed with something, and you might say, well, all right, so if they go all day long and say, I have arthritis, it's like a mantra, and it's like chanting, and it's like inviting that arthritis to come more and more and more and more and more. So you're not denying that that's been a diagnosis, but instead you're going to turn that around and say, you know, my God is my healer. He has designed my body to heal itself. I am wise and I have a purpose, and God has a plan for my life to overcome this diagnosis. So see the difference? And you go throughout the day stating what God's word says about the situation versus all day long, I have arthritis, I have arthritis, I have arthritis. Oh, it's that arthritis. I can't do this and I can't do that because of the arthritis. So God's saying, out of Isaiah 54:2, let's strengthen the soul so that we can enlarge our tents, because we know that if we enlarge our tents, sometimes that's a little more maintenance, right? If you get a bigger house, does that mean that your bigger house is going to have more maintenance? Does that mean the bigger house is going to actually require a little more attention? Maybe so. So do you think that God knows that? And so he'll prepare your heart in order to meet the need of that enlarged tent. So don't be afraid of it. In other words, don't be afraid of that. The next is, I'd like to say, be the light. Yes, we're in a dark world, but God is saying, he's looking for the presence of light. Go be the light wherever you're at in the darkness. And he's saying to us, something that Vlad said this morning that really hit home to me when he was being tormented by some spirits in his apartment as he was newly married, and he was afraid of them. And he was saying, oh God, I'm seeing these shadows come and go out of my room. This thing's haunted. What am I going to do? And he would crawl in bed and put the covers over his head. And he would say, and he would tell his wife to get up and turn on the light. And finally, the Lord says, and he was laying there kind of in a pity party. And God says, I've called you to be the light. He said, you're the light that needs to turn on so that these things that are harassing you can dissipate and disappear when your light that I've called you, flip the switch, open your mouth and speak to the enemy with the authority that God has given you to speak to the enemy. So we're called to be the light. And I love the venue of Neo-Life because Neo-Life allows us to be the light. Neo-Life allows us to stretch our tents, to stretch our imaginations or our dreams, our goals, and do more for the plans and the purposes that God has for your life. So go be the light and don't be afraid of your tent that God wants to stretch and enlarge. In fact, invite it and trust God with the advancement of it. So tonight, magnesium, the best kept secret, and we're going to magnify magnesium because we're going to understand actually how important magnesium is when we're facing stress. Now, every single day we face types of stress that not all stress is bad stress. As a matter of fact, every day we face stress that is normal. God equipped your body to handle daily doses of stress. And if God equips your body to handle daily doses of stress, then don't you know that he is the way maker? I love that song. Sometimes I need to hear it every day. Sometimes I find myself singing that song in the middle of, because subconsciously I'm feeling a bit of a stress frequency coming toward me. And then I'll just out of my mouth start singing, Waymaker, Promise Keeper, Light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. And I'll just start singing that. So we are going to see just the power of magnesium and how God created our bodies to handle the pressures and the daily stressors of life. So we now have been taught, we know that that the fields are empty, meaning the government began destroying the farming practices and flooding the fields with chemicals to artificially boost crops after World War II. But this had consequences. And you see, we're living in a time where the things that our previous generation allowed and tolerated now is celebrated. Wait a minute, there's consequences to that. And as we see those consequences, we're like, oh my goodness, then we can either run into our bedroom and huddle in a puddle of tears and sucking our thumb, or we can rise up for the moment and take responsibility. But sometimes we need that physical strength. We need that mental stability. Over the years, the soil got stripped of its essential minerals. And the number one thing that got stripped was our minerals from the soil. And that's why we're going to emphasize the number one mineral that got stripped tonight, which is magnesium. Up to 50% less nutrition in the 1940s and 50s. And it gets worse though, because the one key mineral your body needs more than all the others to defeat stress and boost your sleep, and it's nearly gone from the soil. So taking a look at the key minerals, no minerals in the soil means no minerals in the plants, which means no minerals in your body. So, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And there's one key mineral that if you're deficient, you're at risk to become stressed out. I love when I call Tony Robertson and he always says, how are you doing? I'm doing great. And what does he say, Deborah? He said, I'm doing great, getting better every day. And getting better every day, or the best is yet to come. I'm getting better every day. Thank you, Wade. And to have horrible sleep and have your quality of life go downhill. So magnesium plays a big part in the arena of what stress is and how stress affects the body. And we're going to dive into that today. The magnesium soil deficiency, depleted soil conditions mean that plants and meat from the animals. So you have to remember that if animals eat plants, then the animals are also going to be deficient in these minerals that feed on the plants. Use of chemicals like fluoride and chlorine in the water supply make magnesium less available in the water since these chemicals can bind to magnesium. So in other words, we have hostage terrorists that take our natural nutrients hostage in the body. We're going to talk about that. What, takes over and brings about a hostage situation and a terrorist situation in the body is fluoride and chlorine. So stress kills. As a matter of fact, we're going to learn today that stress actually plays more of a part. Remember I said there are normal levels of stress. There's normal kinds of stress every single day. Otherwise, we wouldn't be motivated. Face it, the daily stressors of you got to get up out of bed, you've got to wash the dishes, you got to clean your toilet, you got to pay your bills, you got to run errands, you got to take care of your animals, you got to water your plants, you got to meet the needs of your family. If you have a large family, you got to meet everybody's needs, make it sure everybody is happy. If you have a job to go to every day, you got to deal with bosses and corporate issues, and you got deadlines, you got goals, okay, that's just, do you think God knew that we would be facing all that every single day? Absolutely. So if you had to pick one thing that put your health and life at risk for more than anything else, it would definitely be stress. Oh my goodness. According to American Psychological Association, chronic stress linked to 6 leading causes of death. Stress has been implicated in heart issues, inflammation, obesity, mental illness, and more. What if the root of so much stress we experience comes down to a deficiency in one nutrient? Oh my. What if one missing nutrient can actually pair the bonds or repair the bonds or support and fortify your body so it can actually not go down this route when it comes to stress. Fact. Over 80% of Americans are deficient in this nutrient. Over 99% of lacking optimal doses. Do we talk about optimal nutrition? Not just barely getting by, but optimal nutrition. Since this nutrient's responsible for actually 700 different biochemical reactions in the body, including metabolism. When your levels are low, you struggle with sleep, you struggle with energy, you struggle with metabolism, you struggle with pain, and so much more. Worst of all, this deficiency has a very toxic relationship with stress. So according to Dr. Leopold Galland, stress increases the amount of this nutrient we lose from our body. In other words, the more stress you have, the more magnesium you're going to burn. You ever heard the term, you're burning the candle at both ends? You better slow down, or you better take a breath, or you better breathe through this process? That's a magnesium expression, that you're burning more magnesium that your body has to handle the amount of stress that you're under, leading to this deficiency, leading to worse diagnosis. So we get stuck in this cycle of more stress, less magnesium, more stress. So the studies talked about show a direct correlation between deficiency levels of anxiety and stress. Stress ruins nearly every aspect of your health, in part because it increases stress hormones like, there you go, cortisol. So the less magnesium you have, the more cortisol is going to be elevated, because magnesium keeps your cortisol levels down, which is what's released when you're under chronic stress. According to the Mayo Clinic, the long-term activation of stress response system and chronic overexposure to cortisol and stress hormone can disrupt all major processes of the body. Put you at risk numerous anxiety, depression, digestive problems, headaches, heart disease, sleep problems, weight gain, memory, concentration impairment, and so much more. Oh my goodness. Have we ever just identified a whole list of things here? So chronic stress, actually, living with chronic stress is literally like eating a McDonald's every single day. So, and in these classes, I want to give you practical things that we can do every single day to shift that stress, to unload that stress, rather than create a more toxic environment with that stress. In fact, the negative effects on your heart and metabolism and your inflammation and sleep are worse than sugar, rancid oils, and gluten combined. What? Excuse me? And I remember people telling me, oh my goodness, you can have all the perfect nutrition, but if you're under chronic stress, it just blows right out of the water. No, actually, good nutrition will help the body and support the body and fortify the body on how to handle and smooth ride through these chronic levels of stress. Oh my. So stress ruins your sleep. Oh my. This is why when somebody says they're having trouble sleep, one of the first things I address is CalMag with RD or magnesium before they go to bed at night. Why? Because magnesium is a calming effect to your neurological makeup and to your muscles and all the things that tend to tense up during the day under stress. Everybody handles their stress a little bit differently in their body. And we're going to be doing more classes along those lines of talking about how your body retains stress. It has a memory of stress. It has an imprint of stress. According to the National Sleep Foundation, stress causes insomnia by making it difficult to fall asleep at night. 63 different studies found that stress decreases in slow wave sleep, REM sleep. And we have some testimonies of increased REM sleep that is happening with actual monitors with people in the team that are using some of our nitric oxide before they go to bed at night, because nitric oxide actually replaces the oxygen that gets depleted under heavy stress. Oh my goodness. Even though the class tonight's not about nitric oxygen, but I wanted to share that. And of course, healthy, good, restorative sleep is important when it comes to your heart health, when it comes to weight management, and other things. So stress makes you gain weight. What? Yes, because constant cortisol drips will speak to the body to hold on to fat cells. And you'll just like, well, wait a minute, I eat like a bird and I don't lose a pound, I don't lose an ounce. And this may be an issue that's going on right here, is that you're under chronic stress and you have a constant cortisol drip that is speaking a language to your body to hold on to the fat cells. First, because it affects your blood sugar, a critical factor in your weight and longevity. Second, in the study published in April 2015, Biological Psychiatry, women who had one or more stressful events during the previous 24 hours. Now we're talking about every 24-hour cycles here, burned 104 fewer calories. So in other words, that cortisol is saying, don't burn calories. We're under a stressful situation here. And so that's the message that the metabolism gets. Even though, so if you have a stress, this is why we tell you take time when you're eating, don't eat like a wolf or a Rottweiler, and then go on to the next stressful encounter. Make sure you protect your time of eating and enjoy it, and commune with people. If you sit down at a dining room table, make sure those people that you're sitting and eating and dining with are peaceful people and not riotous and negative and people that send off negative emotions and frequencies and what I call dark energy. Because you'll start feeling that in your stomach, and then your digestive system will start shutting down, and other things will affect that pleasant meal that you're supposed to be consuming. Magnesium, the best kept secret. Some experts claim that magnesium deficiency is the single largest health problem in our world today. Oh my goodness, imagine this one little $20 bottle every 30 days can actually solve so many problems. This is why I tell people, well, we talked about, I talked to my neighbor about, the health solution, the breakfast solution, but, they say that that's just not financially able. Well, let's talk to them about magnesium. $20 a month. It'd be the best $20 you ever spent on helping your body. Are you under stress? Would you like to help your body fortify and relieve some of that stress? Help you sleep better? Help you have more energy? Minerals are frequency energy. They put things in motion. So do you get the picture here? That we're being bombarded with negative energy. So internally at the cellular level, we need a positive energy frequency going on in order to combat the negative dark frequencies of stress. Wow. And magnesium is what God created to handle that problem. Basic structural function of all energy. It actually is part of the ATP energy cycle, Krebs cycle. 7 out of the 10 cycles of the Krebs cycle, which is your metabolism processing, to actually take food and then process it through to output for energy. Magnesium is necessary for 7 out of 10 of the process. That's a pretty heavy load, wouldn't you say? So defeat stress. The only nutrient that defeats stress at a cellular level is magnesium. 2010 review of natural treatments for anxiety found that magnesium could be a treatment for anxiety. I've helped people call me up in a panic. Literally, they're having anxiety, pulling over the side of the road, having an anxiety attack. And I said, do you have, and the person had some magnesium with them. I said, give them 2 magnesium right now. And within 5 minutes, that anxiety attack had subsided. Remember, I've taught you in the past in some classes to breathe through it and mentally assess that this physiological process will only last at the maximum 3 minutes. I can breathe through this 3 minutes. I can do this. And as I do this, then I will see myself on the other side, and then the body will take on a recognition that it doesn't have to go in that anxiety trigger again. And you'll have less and less and less triggers. More recently, 2017 review that looked at 18 different studies found that magnesium did reduce anxiety. Wow. These studies looked at mild anxiety, anxiety during PMS syndrome, postpartum anxiety, generalized anxiety. Do you realize how many marriages we could actually save by just simply having adding magnesium to the picture? Oh my goodness. According to this review, one of the reasons why magnesium might help reduce anxiety is that it may improve brain function. How many people do you know that need a brain function improvement? Oh my. I know. The whole bottle, yeah.
How much can you take?
Well, when you get diarrhea, you've had enough for that moment.
Okay.
All right. I'll give you an example. A question was asked, how much can you take? If somebody's under a lot of stress, your body can handle several magnesium at a time. But if your body's under not a lot of stress, then it can, you know, I take 2 a day, which is the recommendation. But if I'm under extra stress, I'm going to take extra magnesium. I'll give you an example. Someone that came to my house that was losing their sister to cancer, and they were under a lot of stress. And she said she was taking 6, 7, or 8 of them a day. And she had run out and started having an anxiety attack. And she came to my house and she said, I need a supply. She was from out of town. Her sister was one of my neighbors. So lo and behold, she got a bottle of magnesium, and she had to do that for about 3 or 4 weeks in order to not have an anxiety attack. But after that, then she started having diarrhea when she took 7 or 8 a day. Then she backed down, and now she's down to a normal level until the next stress occurs.
And I keep mine with me instead of Motrin or Tylenol.
Absolutely. I love that. Keep it with, it's like your medicine cabinet. It's amazing. It's a fast acting. It really is. Magnesium acts fast. So you want to relax. Mary could tell you that she probably could tell the people that take magnesium and don't take magnesium about the condition of their muscles.
After
Yeah.
COVID, I lost a bunch of hair.
Yeah,
I took 4 magnesium a day.
yeah.
And, every bit of that hair grew right back.
Because it helped that, yeah, it helped that ATP, that energy to rebuild and reboot back. We got somebody in the house there that wants to regrow their hair. Magnesium, a best kept secret. It appears that 8 million deaths from sudden cardiac failure occurred in the United States because of magnesium deficiency. What's the first thing that they give you when you go to the emergency room is what, Denisha?
Normal saline and magnesium.
Magnesium, absolutely.
Women who can have preterm labor, they go on that drug.
Absolutely. Yeah. Preeclampsia, all of those conditions are magnesium deficiencies. So magnesium deficiency quiz. So everybody here do an internal quiz on this. Do you drink sodas? Because you're depleting your magnesium when you do. Phosphate in sodas bind magnesium and dumps it. Do you eat pastries, cakes, and desserts? Oh my goodness, it takes 28 molecules of magnesium to metabolize 1 molecule of sucrose and 56 molecules for 1 molecule of fructose. What? Oh my goodness. Are you getting the picture here? Keep your magnesium with you, and if you have that donut or that whatever it is, take a couple of extra magnesium to replenish.
That goes back to if you feel like you can't afford it. So if you start thinking about if I'm gonna drink this soda or. eat this piece of
Exactly.
bread,
What's it
this
going to
pasta,
cost me?
I'm gonna have
Consequences.
I'm gonna have to take 2 glucose balance. That's how much magnesium.
Exactly.
Without any repercussions.
Exactly. You're gonna have to add some glucose balance for the sugar metabolism. You're gonna have to add some magnesium. Good point. Do you experience a lot of stress in your life? Oh my goodness. Anybody? All right. Yeah. Have you recently had a major medical procedure? Because surgery is major stress. It doesn't matter what kind of surgery. I mean, it is stressful to the body to undergo surgery of any kind. And that's why I tell people, take extra magnesium if you're going in for a surgical procedure. Do you drink coffee, tea? Because caffeine robs you of magnesium. Their diuretic action drains magnesium from the body. The next is, do you sweat a lot on your job or at the gym? I notice I've had to up my magnesium since I've been going to Hot Works. Because I started having cramps every single day in my legs from sweating it out for an hour a day. Oh, all I had to do to solve that is add more magnesium. Wow. You are losing magnesium and other minerals. Do you drink more than 7 alcoholic beverages per week? Then you're eating up your magnesium. Do you take calcium supplements? And if you're doing that, see Deborah after the class. Calcium neutralizes magnesium and causes heart disease. So you can't take calcium alone. I talk to so many people that say, oh, I take calcium. Please don't take calcium alone because it robs you of your magnesium. It's supposed to be 2-to-1 ratio. Otherwise it builds up and it's not going to be a good situation. Do you experience anxiety, hyperactivity, difficulty getting to sleep, or difficulty staying asleep? Oh my goodness. Can you think about somebody human that needs our amazing magnesium? How about this one? Do you experience painful muscle spasms, muscle cramping, fibromyalgia, facial tics? You ever seen somebody with a sudden facial tic on the eye? I know somebody on my team that every time they're under stress, they get an eye twitch, and I call them up, tell them a magnesium, add some more magnesium. Eye twitches, involuntary eye movements are all age. If you're over 55, you need to supplement. You need to supplement with magnesium. Your age because you become mineral deficient through dehydration. Are you exposed to fluoride? Here's another thing is, are you getting fluoride in your water or chlorine or dental products or drugs? Oh my goodness, dental products and drugs. Yep, they all play a part in burning up your magnesium in your body that your body desperately needs in order to help you manage stress every day. Alcohol, calcium supplements, caffeine more than 3 times a day, fluoride, high protein. You need, if you're on a carnivore diet, you need to add some more extra magnesium to the picture. That's all. High levels of sugar intake. We talked about that. Add some magnesium. And if you have low nutrient levels altogether, then yes, you need to add some magnesium. So are we getting the picture here that we all need to add some magnesium to our life on a daily basis? Magnesium deficient condition. How about acid reflux? How about adrenal fatigue? How about aging? Anybody doing that? Oh my goodness. Angina, anxiety, asthma, blood clots, brain function. How about constipation? Chocolate cravings is generally magnesium deficiency. Mm. Wow, bladder spasm. Who knew? An overactive bladder doesn't need a surgery or a drug. It needs some magnesium. Depression, diabetes, headaches, migraines, heart disease, hypertension. Are we speaking to somebody here this evening? Oh my. Yeah, we are. The medical industry complex, Merck, stop. Okay, we're going to talk about some medications that actually rob you of magnesium. Drugs that drain. Drugs that drain. Do you know drugs will drain you? Of all, they're a drag. Yeah. Digitalis, diuretics, antibiotics, steroids, or contraceptions, methicine, clisplatin, forgive me, I'm not pronouncing all these correctly, synthetic estrogens, just to name a few. Blockers to nutrition, fluoride, and drugs. 20% of all drugs have added fluoride molecules. Now, this is real important because all psychotropic drugs have an added molecule of a fluoride onto them, which will drain your magnesium. So if you're taking a drug for depression, yes, it's a bonding agent. And so here you're taking a drug for depression and anxiety that will rob you of the natural nutrient that helps you handle anxiety. So fluoride increases their ability to dissolve in fats and cross cell membranes, which means access to the brain. Oh my goodness. 70% of Americans take prescription medications. What? 70%? That's probably why 70%. Oh my goodness. Cardiovascular side effects occur in many different classes of drugs because of these drugs have fluoride in common. Ironically, magnesium deficiency symptoms are often treated with fluoride drugs, like I just shared. What? Does that make sense? That's a dog chasing its tail with 10 more side effects on the other side. Oh my goodness. Drugs cause magnesium to dump into your blood, which means, okay, hold on, which means much of the beneficial effects of the drugs are due to magnesium. Oh my goodness. Wow. So remineralize and get a charge. Woohoo. You must get a charge for energy, and that's that ATP, energy storage for life. Underlying nutritional deficiencies, nearly every symptom of magnesium deficiency has a specific corresponding pharmaceutical drug to treat it. Let that sink in. Wow. By just simply helping your neighbor, start with yourself, by adding magnesium to your daily nutritional list, that you can actually prevent you from needing all these pharmaceutical medications. The monetary impact to drug companies is massive. That is why they don't want you to know this. By just one, adding one. The power of one. Severely deficient. How deficient really are we? Let's go into that. First, almost everyone is severely deficient in magnesium, even those who get the recommended daily dose, because higher stress levels, common for self-motivated, ambitious ones. Anybody here self-motivated and ambitious? Absolutely. Require much higher doses than recommended doses. Second, if you're only taking one form of magnesium, you're still deficient because all the magnesium sold out there is only one. Oh my goodness. So you're denying your body's need for the other families and forms of magnesium. Magnesium is the fourth most abundant mineral in the body as needed for everything, including muscle, nerve function, keeping a healthy immune system, maintaining normal heart rhythms, building strong bones, lowering cortisol levels. Magnesium status is highly associated with stress levels. Magnesium has been proven to help your mitochondria generate ATP, the main unit of energy in every cell. That's why another study says mitochondria and intracellular magnesium actually stores magnesium to actually charge like a battery to recharge. Magnesium helps move blood sugar into your muscles and dispose of lactate, which can build up in the muscles during exercise. Supplementing with it can boost exercise performance for athletes and elderly people with chronic disease. In one study, volleyball players actually experienced improvement as they jumped and as they had their arm movements in volleyball. Athletes who supplemented with magnesium for 4 weeks saw faster running, cycling, swimming, triathlon. They had reduction in insulin and stress hormone levels, which is that cortisol. Magnesium plays a role in brain function, your mood levels. Low levels are linked to an increased risk of depression. Supplementing with this mineral may help these symptoms of depression. In some case, there's very dramatic results. In a random controlled trial in depression, older adults, 450 milligrams of magnesium a day improved mood as effectively as an antidepressant drug with no side effects. That's amazing. One study, which followed more than 4,000 people for 20 years, found that those with higher levels of magnesium intake were 47% less to get diabetes. Wow. Magnesium protecting your body because it helps the glucose and insulin levels to function properly. People with type 2 diabetes taking daily amounts of doses of magnesium experience significant improvements in blood sugar, hemoglobin levels compared to control groups. Another study, in one study, people who took 450 milligrams per day experienced significant decrease in systolic and diastolic blood pressure, hypertension. Magnesium can reduce CRP markers of inflammation in older adults, overweight people, and those with prediabetes. A few encouraging studies suggest that magnesium can prevent and even help people with migraines. Oh my goodness. Supplementing 1 gram of magnesium provided relief from acute migraine quickly and effectively and than common medications. So if somebody has a migraine, we should share our magnesium with them. Magnesium plays a critical role in insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome. Magnesium improves insulin resistance among non-diabetic individuals and metabolic syndrome. One study found that supplementing with it reduced insulin resistance and blood levels, even in people with normal levels. Magnesium has been shown to improve mood, reduce water retention, and symptoms of PMS. OMG. Use magnesium to beat the root cause of stress. After all that I just said, oh my goodness. Magnesium is like a beautiful blanket that just covers the body to calm, ease, soothe, and prepare the body for the next day, doesn't it? Rather than having a buildup of residual cortisol and driving chronic disease. But beware of brands that don't test for mercury. Beware of these brands of magnesium that scientists have found to have some of the highest levels of mercury found in these brands sold on the shelf. Without magnesium, your body cannot function optimally, so you need it. So before you buy, beware. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. If you don't have enough magnesium, the body simply cannot function optimally, and insufficient cellular magnesium levels sets the stage for deterioration of metabolic functions that can snowball. That's Joseph Mercola. Anybody ever heard of him? I got that statement from Mr. Mercola. The magnesium miracle. Let's take a look at some of the foods that have high levels of magnesium in it. Buckwheat. How many here has buckwheat every day? I mean, it's nobody, right? I mean, who eats buckwheat today? But it used to be a staple. 50 years ago, buckwheat was the staple. Halibut, wheat, whole wheat flour. But you know, you got to have original wheat today, spinach, pumpkin seeds, squash, soybeans, cooked white beans, black beans. So we're seeing here how we can get some of that magnesium in our day. I always like to show you the types of foods that you can get to incorporate in your daily, food intake. Here's pumpkin seeds, spinach, chard, edamame, which is soy, pine nuts, sesame, quinoa, hemp, cashews, oats, kidney, walnuts, peas. There's a few more foods that your body can actually glean from and get magnesium from. Foods filled with magnesium, again, nuts, avocados, bananas, dark chocolate, spinach. And I love this, when I found this picture, low magnesium, you can always tell that the leaf is very pale, and the darker the color, then it's identified as the more minerals that it has in it. And you can see the difference here in the two. Also, salmon has magnesium in it. So you've got nuts, seeds, eggs, some fruits, and some fish that has magnesium in it. So, how many here eat nuts and seeds every day? Okay, Brian does. Denisha does. I try to. I put a handful of walnuts many times in my protein shake. But again, these are things that the average person just doesn't put in their body on a daily basis. Spark of life. So let's explore the magnification of magnesium, the most studied mineral on planet. So it's the most efficient, it's the most studied because it plays the biggest part across the board in your metabolism. Wow. The problem, modern agriculture has stripped the soil. We talked about that. The food supplement industries are feeding us with synthetic grade magnesium. Ooh, that our bodies can't even absorb. And that's what we talk about, is a difference between a human whole food magnesium and a synthetic magnesium, or a magnesium that may be full of lead and all kinds of, so think again, most of them contain one or two forms of magnesium. What you need to know before you buy. So let's take a look. What we need to know before we buy. Now that we understand, anybody here doubt how critical magnesium is on a daily basis by the time we end this class? Magnesium is for everything and everybody. It might be tempting to run out to your local drugstore or health food store and buy some magnesium, right? So if we're going to let our light shine, we're going to share with our neighbor and our friend, no, you need to leave that magnesium alone. I got some awesome, amazing magnesium by Neolife that, your body can actually use and synthetic will abuse, but if it's human, whole food, natural, your body can use it. This would be a mistake because most magnesium products do nothing. Two primary reasons: synthetic, unnatural, not recognized by your body, and it only has one form, and it's low bioavailability if it only has one form. So you're missing the other forms of magnesium. So your body's not getting the optimal doses. So before you buy, the foods and the supplement industries are feeding us synthetic low-grade magnesium that our bodies can't even absorb. That's the bottom line. Is you know, we talk about where are minerals coming from in a one-a-day vitamin. It's coming from shards of metal and rocks and things like that from China. That's where it's actually coming from. So testing products safely is a very expensive process. Do you think corporate America or corporate around the world is going to take the steps to test for a product with all the toxic metals? I don't know any company that tests 200 toxic components, which equals to about 1,000 in every single product line. I don't know any company that does that. Like E. coli or salmonella. Remember when they have like product recalls? It's usually because of E. coli or salmonella or bacteria, arsenic, mercury, lead, yeast, cadmium, or mold. These are things that cause more problems. Don't solve problems, but they cause more problems. Oh my. So where are we going to go before you buy? Wow, wise up. Let's take a look. Where is our magnesium found in Neolife? Well, first of all, it's in our CalMag. Our CalMag with 1,000 units of D. And our magnesium is a mineral that is double stack chelated. And that means that it actually is bioavailable to the tune of 100% bioavailability. So, and that's been tested at the Maryland Institute, our calcium, magnesium, and I can send you that test that was done. And it's quite amazing because this, if it's 300 milligrams, then guess what? Your body's going to absorb and receive in the cellular level all 300 milligrams. And it's, again, a clean source. It's from the human food chain process, that chelation. Now, Dr. Arthur First was the pioneer in chelation technology. So we came up with the very first in history, world's first chelated minerals, because he was the world expert in that arena. So, oh, sorry, hold on. I had that up there. So this is the chelation process. It's double bonded. I found a tape by Dr. Arthur Verse that talked about how when he developed and pioneered this technology, all the other companies followed suit to put on their label, oh, we have chelated minerals too. But he said he actually checked them out and discovered that they would take that tablet along the conveyor belt, spray it with a synthetic vitamin C, and officially they can call it chelated. He said it's not bonded with 2 amino acids, which takes there's an expense to this process. They're not going to go to that level of expense to double chelate it, double bond it with a food sourced amino acid, when all they have to do is spray it with a synthetic vitamin C on the conveyor belt and put on the label, well, mine's chelated too. Well, let's go back and find out what manufacturer process are they using to chelate it. Dr. Arthur First developed the original chelation method that works. and they tested it to show its bioavailability from 5% to 100%. The Pioneer, rapid disintegration, dissolution, dispersion, not irritating to the stomach, because minerals can be irritating to the stomach, although you need minerals and actually to line the stomach every single day. So magnesium, Neolife Magnesium, good news. We have some amazing magnesium. We need to magnify our magnesium. Wow, because it's magnificent. A magnesium that you can trust, a magnesium that makes a difference, a magnesium that works with and covers the whole body functions. Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. You know, since I've been with Neolife, they've come out with a magnesium. They didn't have a magnesium when I first came on board. They only had the CalMag and D, but not a separate magnesium. But considering the heavy load that magnesium plays, then people need to take a separate magnesium as a supplement to handle our daily stresses. Wow. And it's wonderful to be able to trust a formula that's going to help you and make the difference. So let's talk about that difference is Phytomag first and only of its kind. Beets, broccoli, kale, and radish. So in other words, it's got an antioxidant component. So it's a tri component, 3 components here for phytonutrient antioxidant power. So it has beets in it, broccoli in it, kale, and radishes. Bonded with our magnesium from head to toe, covering all that you need to know for daily uptake from your intestines to your muscles, to kidneys, to urinary output, other tissues, and bone. Wow. So you can see here the needs that the body has on a daily basis for just digestion, muscle action, kidney function, and other tissues on just 350 milligrams a day. Wow. And of course, magnesium is the missing link that we're talking about tonight and how we can fit securely together that missing link. And I love the trifold because this here, we're going to, whoops, let's go back. That trifold unit is magnesium double amino acid chelate, magnesium citrate, and magnesium oxide, plus your Phytomag blend of your phyto immune booster nutrients, antioxidant nutrients. So it's organically bound, the magnesium citrate, and it's earth formed from the earth. It's natural. Everything that is in this is natural. It's a natural earth form of magnesium oxide. Wow. So Neolife Magnesium Complex is a magnesium supplement containing bioavailable magnesium from 3 sources: Tri-Mag blend, complemented by whole food phytonutrients, Phytomag blend. Neolife Tri-Mag blend provides 300 milligrams of magnesium per 2 tablets serving from 3 main sources. Wow. Double amino acid chelated magnesium bound to glycine to provide a highly bioavailable and absorbable form of magnesium. Double amino acid mineral chelation developed by Dr. Arthur First. Tri-magnesium citrate is an organically bound natural source of magnesium with high bioavailability. Magnesium oxide has the highest concentrations of magnesium and is easily absorbed. It's gentle. I have a lot of people that are very sensitive to magnesium because it is a harsh form. It's synthetic, and they take it and their digestive system goes crazy. So this here is a gentle form, and yeah, how do you know if you're taking too much? You'll get diarrhea and you just back off. And some days you're gonna need more than other days. If you start having, some leg cramps, it's time to take some magnesium, extra magnesium for the day. Details about the Neolife Magnesium. Neolife uses advanced technologies to provide a natural, exclusive magnesium supplement delivered in a highly bioavailable form, combined with a unique profile of 3 main magnesium sources, TriMag, complemented by whole food phytonutrients to promote lifelong health and vitality. Wow. This is one product here that we need to tell to the world, letting our light shine. Say, how would you like your cells in your brain to actually get a supercharge? Well, drink some Elevate and take some magnesium. What's in Elevate, by the way? Magnesium. Oh, they're so sharp. Awesome.
Can I ask you a question about magnesium?
Sure.
Does Phytodefense have any, and if so, how much?
Phytodefense does not have
Does not.
magnesium in it, but the Pro Vitality does.
Okay, because I take it, one
Yeah.
day I take the Phyto, and then one day I take
Yeah.
the, so.
Yeah,
I'm considering taking 2 magnesium.
in between. It's a very low burden budget, $20 a bottle, actually 17. Yeah. So Neolife TriMag blend provides magnesium from the 3 main sources. I think I'm covering this over and over again. Exclusive double amino acid bound to glycine, highly absorbable, trimagnesium citrate, organically bound and natural source, magnesium oxide, the form with the highest concentration. I want you to see this. Highest concentration of magnesium. Neolife Phytomag blend is a proprietary blend of whole food nutrients. We went over there's the foods that are in that blend, antioxidant power, and it uses the unique 3D technology assuring rapid and complete disintegration, dissolution, and dispersion for enhanced bioavailability. Wow. So before you buy, be aware of Neolife's difference. Wow. So what are some of the products that has magnesium in it? I actually did not list all of them in this list here, but our CalMag has magnesium in it. And people ask me, what's the difference between the CalMag D and the magnesium? Well, because the CalMag is 2-to-1 ratio from the calcium with 1,000 D, but our bodies need extra D and extra magnesium because of the heavy burden that and the role that they play in the body on a daily basis. And that's why you need to, at times, especially when you're undergoing a lot of stress, add some extra magnesium. So here is 300 milligrams, and our magnesium is 300 milligrams for 2 tablets. Calcium, all the products with the calcium in it, which I did not list there, Elevate, but it's the Neolife Shake, the Prime Pack, Sports Pack, Stress Pack, Vegetarian Multi, Betazyme has it in there, and the Multimin, and I did not add the Elevate. Magnesium, Neolife Shake, Prime Pack, it's pretty much the same, other than Betagard has that, has magnesium in it, and the Multimin and the Elevate has magnesium. Vitamin D, Neolife Shake, Prime Pack, Multimin, that's pretty much true to what we have today in the product line. But that's where you're going to find magnesium in the Neolife products. So I am actually going to close out, or does anybody have a testimony like share about our magnesium?
I do.
Okay, Deborah, come on up and share your testimony, then I'll end the recording. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. All right, come on up, hon, so you can see you right here on this side here. Awesome.
Okay, so I drive school bus and my foot is extended all day, every day.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm woken up in the middle of the night with severe cramps and I have to get up and literally do circles through my house, through the kitchen, the dining room, the living room, and go all the way. And as soon as that happens to me, I get up and I grab the magnesium, and I usually take 3 of them and I do my circles and I go back to bed and I don't have an issue. And then also I had a friend that I was a co-driver with, and he had AFib all the time. And when I counseled with Levon, she had told me that the magnesium would help him with that. And I did get him on there. I ordered him some, and at the time, I don't think I had any on my shelf, but anyway, it just kept happening to him before his order got to him. So when he went to the hospital, that's exactly what they hooked him up to, was magnesium.
Wow.
So yeah, he was happy to get that order.
Absolutely. I love that. I love the fact that we got one of the best magnesium on the market. You can trust it, share it, let the light shine about it, because it does make a difference. I'm going to stop sharing on the PowerPoint, and then I'm going to stop the recording. And thank you so much. Get back with the person that shared this information with you and get started as soon as possible on the Neolife Magnificent